Good morning. Welcome to the Greater New Orleans Foundation and our Center for Philanthropy. The foundation is our region's philanthropic home, and our roots extend back to the community chest of New Orleans in 1923. So for nearly 100 years, the foundation has been connecting people to the causes that spark their passions. As one of the most trusted philanthropic organizations in the region, we work every day to drive positive impact through philanthropy, leadership, and action in our 13 parish region. In addition to grant making, we convene people, resources, and ideas to create thoughtful and impactful strategies to address our region's greatest challenges. And we are proud to serve as a vocal civic leader with our partners to ensure a vibrant, sustainable, and just region for all. So we are excited that you have joined us today to announce GiveNOLA Day 2021. It's my favorite day of the year. GiveNOLA Day is the most significant initiative where the Greater New Orleans Foundation promotes a culture of giving throughout our region. On GiveNOLA Day, everyone can be a philanthropist. For 24 hours, everyone who loves our region can support their favorite causes by donating to one or more of the 850 nonprofit organizations that are participating. Since the Greater New Orleans Foundation launched GiveNOLA Day 8 years ago, our region and our people have collectively raised over $33 million for impactful nonprofits, like some of the ones you're going to hear from this morning. Last year's GiveNOLA Day set a record, raising over $7.1 million right in the middle of the pandemic, from over 68,000 individual donations from across the region, across the nation, and literally from across the world. So today we are here to announce that GiveNOLA Day 2021 will take place on May 4th, and we are fired up to continue supporting regional nonprofits at record-breaking levels. GiveNOLA Day is, of course, a team effort that delivers resources for nonprofits meeting community needs. And so whether your passion is arts and culture, or education, mentoring, public safety, or the environment, there is a nonprofit on GiveNOLA Day for you to invest in. The COVID-19 pandemic demonstrated for us once again the critical role local nonprofits play in our communities. In a region with so many needs and opportunities, these nonprofits work to strengthen every part of our community, providing food, shelter, medical care and relief, support for families and seniors, and so much more. So please join us in giving as generously as you can to the organizations serving our community on the front lines. If you want to invest in a nonprofit doing extraordinary work across our 13 parish region, please visit www.givenoladay.org on May 4th and join our team in building the capacity and strength of our local nonprofits. As we do each year, in 2021, once again, the foundation will work with our elected, business, and civic partners across the region to increase awareness of GiveNOLA Day in all 13 parishes. Lastly, GiveNOLA Day is made possible by our generous supporters. So in addition to the donations that we all make on GiveNOLA Day, nonprofits each benefit from the additional prizes and the Lagniappe Matching Fund donations made possible by a growing list of great foundations and corporate and individual partners. And we are proud to announce that for the 8th consecutive year, GiveNOLA Day will be supported by Baptist Community Ministry, and we're thrilled to announce that this year they are our presenting sponsor. BCM is one of the strongest regional philanthropies in our area, and they are celebrating their 25th year as a foundation. Additionally, GiveNOLA Day is powered by Entergy, who is also here with us this morning in the form of David Ellis, president of Entergy New Orleans. And Entergy has been with us at GiveNOLA Day every year since we began. We also appreciate support that we get from Oshner. And I want to be sure to recognize and thank all of our sponsors for their generous support. Thank you for making GiveNOLA Day possible. By supporting our prizes and Lagniappe Fund, our sponsors keep the energy of GiveNOLA Day going throughout the 24-hour event. So today I'm thrilled to introduce a good friend and a great leader in our community, Baptist Community Ministries Board Chair, Slade Simons, who is here to share BCM's commitment to GiveNOLA Day and to our community. Slade?
Andy, thank you. Really do appreciate you as well as the rest of the team here at the Greater New Orleans Foundation for not just being a very good partner for us at Baptist Community Ministries, but also for the community. We really do appreciate it. We are extremely grateful and honored to be able to be the presenting sponsor for this year's, GiveNOLA Day. As Andy mentioned, this is our 25th anniversary. And we have been able over the last 25 years to partner not just with Greater New Orleans Foundation, but nonprofits throughout our region. And over the last 25 years, when you look at the dollars that have actually been invested, Baptist Community Ministries has been able to put just over $250 million into the community in the last 25 years. And when you consider the impact that's being made, it's not just the dollars alone, it's the work that's being done by the individuals who are working on behalf of those who are most in need. And so, recently, when COVID hit last year, our partnership with Greater New Orleans Foundation and others allowed us to put about $1.6 million into the hands of those folks in our community who needed it the most. Those folks who were laid off or who were furloughed in the hospitality, tourism, as well as in the gig economy. And so your partnership and your work, as well as that of others, enabled the money to get into the hands of those people who needed it most right away. And we are extremely grateful. We were also able to help support those who were in need of emotional and spiritual help as well through our partnership and network of churches. There's over 140 of those churches throughout the community that we were able to help and serve through our chaplaincy program. And that number is about 147,000 different personal connections that were made, through this pandemic period. But the partnerships go wide and they go deep, and we are incredibly grateful and humbled to be a part of it. And so we are thrilled to continue to be a part of GiveNOLA Day. As Andy mentioned, with the 850 different nonprofits that are going to be participating, there is sure to be more than a few opportunities for every single citizen in our metro area to participate and to support. Money is not the only way to give, but it is one of the most immediate ways to give. And so this day gives everybody an opportunity to really step in and to be a part of the good that's happening. I've said to our own folks and the friends as well, you could do a 30-minute newscast every single day of all the good that is happening in our city. If you just focused on the work that's being done by the nonprofits. These folks are doing some of the greatest of work in our city, and they're helping out those who are most in need. And again, we are incredibly grateful. But none of that for BCM would happen as well as it does if it wasn't for our grants manager. So Christy Ross is the Senior Vice President of our grants team. And so if I could, I would like to introduce Christy, and she can tell you a little bit more about the work.
Thank you so much, Slade. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here. I think I can agree with Andy that this is probably my most favorite day, the one that I look forward to, because we really get to see the power of humanity in the goodness of people when we celebrate GiveNOLA Day. As Slade mentioned, I'm Christy Ross, the Senior Vice President for Grants at Baptist Community Ministries. We have enjoyed a wonderful partnership with Greater New Orleans Foundation and have been a longtime supporter of GiveNOLA Day. And it is a pleasure to stand in front of you as the presenting sponsor this year, because this is such an important year for many reasons, but of course for us personally, as we celebrate the 25 years of service and commitment to this community as a foundation. This is a very special year for us, and so a wonderful way to do that in partnership with the Greater New Orleans Foundation and our other supporters. As Slade mentioned, and as Andy mentioned, we have really seen what the people can do and what organizations can do when we all come together to give. And back at Community Ministries and the Greater New Orleans Foundation, we have really enjoyed a wonderful partnership and service to the community. And I think in the investments that we've made in the community, they've been wonderful to support critical programs and services that people need. When we think about mental health, we think about early childhood, recidivism, and other public safety investments, and also other just safety net programs that we know the community relies on. And so this is really just a wonderful opportunity for organizations that continue to show up and really support no matter what, that they support the community. We have some fabulous nonprofit organizations, and I like to say New Orleans is largely run on the generosity and the beauty and support of the nonprofit community. So this is just yet another way to support those that support us day in and day out. And as you've heard, we have over 850 organizations that are registered. So I personally would like to see us blow the roof off the 2021 total. I would love to see us combine all 8 years and exceed that total. Of course, because we need it. We know we need it due to the pandemic, but we need it due to the ongoing need. And so there are two of our esteemed partners who are represented here today, one of which I have the pleasure of introducing to you. That's Mr. Nick Richard, who is the Executive Director of NAMI St. Tammany. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. As she said, I'm Nick Richard. I'm the Executive Director of NAMI St. Tammany. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and we are the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. I've been a part of GiveNOLA Day since it came to the North Shore in 2014, and I remember huddling around in a room, probably like 7 of us, 7 nonprofits in a room in Covington with our parish president and with one of our council members. And obviously, when you look at now the growth that we have on the North Shore with our nonprofits. But I'll have to tell you, while the funds are vital and critical to keeping our programs alive, one of the things that's not quantifiable are the partnerships and the collaboration that's come out of working with GiveNOLA Day. And I'll do a quick story. So I'm actually going to dedicate probably more of my personal funds to another nonprofit, my nonprofit. And the reason for that is that we're working with a YMCA on the North Shore. And the director there came up with this. We're very competitive to try and make each other better. And their director came up with an idea to do to shoot free throws, that have people pledge for every free throw that he shoots. And I'm like, that is so much better idea than what I'm doing. So I'm committing funds to him. But what's more important to that is that because of that relationship, because of GiveNOLA Day, several months ago, he actually reached out to me. He had a staff member who had a daughter who was in a severe mental health crisis, something that needed immediate attention. And he felt comfortable enough because of our relationship to reach out. We were able to direct them to the most appropriate services. And I can tell you now that she's doing well. That's one of the things that we can quantify the dollars and they're extremely important, but it's hard to quantify the relationships that are formed for GiveNOLA Day. And again, this, mental health crisis is something that we're seeing nationwide. Before the pandemic, we would always say 1 in 5 people live with mental illness. Post-pandemic, we're looking at close to 1 in 3. 1 in 3 individuals that are impacted by mental illness throughout our community. The North Shore is not immune from this. If you look at over the last 3 years, we had an average of almost 1 suicide every week. Every single week, we've lost one of our citizens to suicide on the North Shore. In 2018, we had an average of 17 involuntary psychiatric treatments a day, every single day. Now, while these statistics may be sobering, the positive news is hope, healing happens, recovery happens. Vital programs like NAMI St. Tammany can provide resources, direction, and education support to people living with them. But that's not all individuals need. One of the greatest barriers to receiving mental health services is actually getting there. Stigma is one of the greatest barriers. We know that 40% of Louisianans, only 40% of people living with mental illness in Louisiana receive appropriate mental health services, only 40%. So one of the greatest things we can do is remove the barrier of stigma. That's being done today. When you have leaders like the Greater New Orleans Foundation, Baptist Community Ministries, and Entergy standing up saying that it's okay not to be okay, that you are not alone and your life matters, standing up with us, saying that's going to make a greater impact than anything that we can do. So I thank you all for having me here today. And I thank you for giving mental health a platform, because there is no health without mental health. So with that, I'd like to welcome up all the way from Philadelphia, President and CEO, David Ellis, President and CEO of GiveNOLA. Thank you.
So that made me feel like extra special. Well, first of all, I want to thank Andy for all the great work that the Greater New Orleans Foundation is doing in our communities. And as you heard from the prior speakers, it's very much needed, and we're just happy to be part of this effort. As stated, my name is David Ellis. I'm President and CEO of Energy New Orleans. We're happy to be here today. Energy is proud to partner with the Greater New Orleans Foundation in power GiveNOLA Day. Each year, we witness the growing impact of GiveNOLA Day. Generous donations from around the world provide funding to organizations that help so many individuals make the Greater New Orleans region a better place to live. Since 2015, we've stood with the Greater New Orleans Foundation and the more than 800 participating nonprofits to positively impact our communities, our children, our environment, and much more. The Foundation works to ensure that citizens have access to resources and opportunities needed to reach their full potential, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status. Creating and sustaining healthy, vibrant communities is a fundamental responsibility and business imperative that we take very seriously. And giving back to those communities we serve is a core part of Entergy's mission. In Louisiana alone, each year, Entergy shareholders contribute over $10 million to nonprofit organizations to help maintain and strengthen our communities who rely so heavily upon those organizations. Along with charitable support, our employees in Louisiana provide more than 44,000 volunteer hours annually, valued at more than $1.1 billion, working side by side with community members. Entergy's employees work, live, and raise their families in the communities we serve, and we're dedicated to their success. Thanks to the Greater New Orleans Foundation, hundreds of participating organizations, and countless donors, past and future, for making all of this possible. And we look forward to celebrating another very successful GiveNOLA Day on May 4th. Now I'd like to introduce Jean Parr, Executive Director, Innocence Project, New Orleans. Thank you.
Thank you, David. As David stated, my name is Jean Parr, the Executive Director of Innocence Project New Orleans. Innocence Project New Orleans, what we call ourselves, is celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. We are so thrilled to be again participating in GiveNOLA Day for 8th year in a row. GiveNOLA frees innocent, imprisoned individuals and advocates for a criminal justice system that is fair, equitable, and just. We rely on the kindness and generosity of individual donors and foundations like CM and GiveNOLA to free innocent men and women, reunite them with their families. For 20 years, we have freed and exonerated 36 individuals who have collectively spent over 870 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. When the coronavirus shut down our schools, our restaurants, our shops, the entire metropolitan area of New Orleans last March, I worried along with my staff at GiveNOLA whether or not GiveNOLA would actually survive this pandemic and continue to support our clients. We thought of our clients who were in prison, who could not socially distance due to crowding in prisons, who did not have masks, who did not have access to sanitary materials. We thought about their families and wondered whether or not we will come out of this okay, given the economic downturn that everyone was speaking about. Last year, the 2020 GiveNOLA Day gave us hope. The big-hearted generosity of our donors during such an incredibly challenging time truly surprised and moved us. They They showed up, they gave, and then they showed up again, and then gave again. Thousands of donors giving $100 or less. In less than 24 hours, the donors affirmed the very importance of the work GiveNOLA and all the other nonprofit organizations are doing in this greater enrollment. They told us that GiveNOLA working toward racial justice and transforming our criminal legal system was important, was critical, and was worth it. GiveNOLA Day showed us we can persevere when we come together as a community and help one another by being open and giving to one another. And I expect nothing different this year. In 7 years, GiveNOLA has gone from less than 100 donors, like 95 donors our first year on GiveNOLA Day, to over 1,100 last year. The kindness of our neighbors, of our colleagues, of our friends and families, I know will again power this year's GiveNOLA Day. And together as a community, I know that we will raise historic amounts of funds to nonprofits like GiveNOLA and NAMI and everyone else. The reach of this Giving Day has grown exponentially, and GiveNOLA relies on it to give us the boost that we need to do the work that we do for innocent men and women still. I'm so thankful for Greater New Orleans Foundation, for past community ministry, and Entergy for making this day possible this year. Now, I would like to call up to the podium Mark Raymond Jr., founder and CEO of Split Second Foundation.
Good morning. Thank you, G. As you so eloquently stated, my name is Mark Raymond Jr., and I'm CEO of the Split Second Foundation. Our mission is to break barriers for people living with disabilities. And I want to talk about briefly just the importance of GiveNOLA Day through a little bit of a story. I founded this organization because my life changed in a split second, and I realized it could happen to anyone. What I didn't realize was how few resources there were for people who've gone through tragic situations like strokes or different neurological conditions and even amputations after they got out of the hospital. And so when I began my journey 3 years ago and founded this organization, I was trying to figure out how to create resources and programs for folks, for the nearly 730,000 people in Louisiana that suffer from ambulatory disabilities every year. Through that journey, I learned about GiveNOLA Day from one of my board members, Tyrone Walker, who used to be Vice President of Communications here. Once we got signed up, I realized that GiveNOLA Day was about more than just giving and donation. As Nick so eloquently put, it was about the relationships and the collaboration between all of us in building a community of nonprofit leaders and business and organization leaders to make our city a better city, and make our communities stronger by creating these partnerships and collaboration. So in our first GiveNOLA Day, I had the pleasure of meeting David Ellis. David has been a tremendous supporter of Split Second Foundation, and because of GiveNOLA Day and the relationships that we've built because of these powerful people, Split Second Foundation has been able to open the first inclusive fitness facility in Louisiana for people with who have suffered from some type of neurological condition, stroke, or amputation. So we're really proud to be a part of this again. This is one of our favorite events every year. And it's just so indicative of who we are as New Orleans, to come together and really build community and donate and contribute together. I as well will be giving personally more to another organization than my own. That organization is Saul's Life. A friend of mine founded that organization and they're doing really great work. So in that spirit of collaboration, I wanted to share that as well. But with no further ado, I want to ask Mr. Bobby Boris, the Vice Chair of the Greater New Orleans Foundation Board, to come up and close us out.
Morning, everybody. As the Vice Chair of the Greater New Orleans Foundation Board, I want to applaud everyone here for helping our foundation live up to our goal of promoting philanthropy, leadership, and action in our region. At the core of everything we do here rests our deep belief in the power of philanthropy. At the Greater New Orleans Foundation, we believe that philanthropy starts with donors. The people and institutions of our region are extremely generous. Everyone can be a philanthropist, and we believe that philanthropy can drive innovation, build capacity in nonprofits, government, and even for-profit social enterprises. GiveNOLA Day is a great example of how we as a community foundation can leverage our role as a partner to both donors and nonprofits. We know this past year of the COVID-19 pandemic has compounded many of our community's needs, which makes GiveNOLA Day even more important this year to our participating organizations. We also know that when we come together to support our neighbors and those on the front lines, providing critical resources and services, we can do more than we ever thought possible. And we can aim to build capacity of our nonprofits so they can increase their skills at online fundraising and serve even more people in our geographic region. This is perhaps one of the most important things that we can do GiveNOLA Day. We hope that you all will join us on May 4th, because when we give, we all make a greater impact. I'd like to applaud our staff for their hard work, as well as those incredible nonprofits for all the good work they do across our region. I'd like to thank the over 50,000 individuals who will join us on GiveNOLA Day to support these causes. Finally, I'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Baptist Community Ministries, Energy, and of course, Oxford, who does so much in the community also. And all of our sponsors for their incredible gifts that make GiveNOLA Day happen and provide even more money to nonprofits and who work hard on GiveNOLA Day. Also, you've heard all these announcements today, and GiveNOLA Day 2021 will be one to remember. Thank you all for coming here, and we look forward to joining you over the next 35 days to raise a record amount of giving. Like to turn to Thank you, Bobby. Thank you to Baptist Community Ministries for being our presenting sponsor, and to Slade and Christie for being here. Thank you to David Ellis, Energy, for powering GiveNOLA Day again. And thanks to Nick and G and Mark for your stories and your passion and your leadership. You speak for 850 different nonprofits today, and you did an excellent job sharing your stories. So thank you all for being here. We look forward to a successful GiveNOLA Day on May 4th, and we'll be happy to take any questions if members of the media have those. And you're welcome to pull aside our nonprofit leaders for interviews as well. Thank you so much for being here today.